You are now listening to the Brothers and Lovers Podcast. Welcome. Come on. Stand up, rise up, rise. What you gonna do about it? Get your mind up. How you gonna move about it? Get your shoulders right. And you get right to it, and we unite. Cause they gonna fight.
Shall I stand by my brother's side? If he wrong, I should tell him why. Enter battle, we shall ride. Let the world feel our battle cry.
Stand up, rise up, rise. What you gonna do about it? Get your mind up. How you gonna move about it? Get your shoulders right. And you get right to it, and we unite. Cause they gonna fight. Stand up, rise up. What you gonna do about it? Get your mind up. How you gonna move about it? Get your shoulders right. And you get right to it, and we unite.
Welcome, gentlemen. I go by the name of City. I will be the host for the evening. I would like to welcome everybody for tuning in to Brothers and Lovers Podcast, episode 2, where I ask my panel of brothers to bring their love for their children, our love for our communities, and our love for our families, and put it with some passion and sprinkle some facts on that into the uncomfortable conversations, the conversations that nobody wants to talk about. All right, but tonight on my panel, I got my brother Damo.
Yes, sir. I'm here. How you doing, everybody? Hey, it's Damo. 20, just turned 30, from Harlem, 4 kids, trying to stay out the way. That's all I want to do.
I hear that. Also got my brother Larry.
Yo, stand up. I do this for the community, for my culture. Elijah, King Noah, I love you, baby. This is for y'all.
Yes. Also got my brother Ron.
Hey, what's going on? Good evening, Ron Crosby. Born in New York City, raised in the dirty South, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 2'6". Practice law, one of the older brothers on the panel. Sorry I missed y'all last week, but I'm looking forward to doing what we do. Y'all don't know, we've been doing this for a little while, so we all ready to go. Appreciate you having me on tonight.
Yes. Last but not least, I got my brother Harvey. What's good?
Great peace and blessings, everyone. I'm Harvey Morris, and just doing what we do, man. I'm a music producer, and just glad to be here.
Yes. All right. See, this show we're gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna be on the panel. I'm gonna let my brother Larry. He's gonna hold this conversation down. Go ahead, Larry. It's all on you, baby.
Oh, I like this seat right here. This feels unfamiliar for me. City, I appreciate you. Yo, so let me tell y'all, man, we've been going over and over and over in our minds on how to reach our people, because that's what this platform is about, educating and bringing back the love and the culture, the respect to our people that we feel has been lost. So tonight we're going to get uncomfortable. At least that's my anticipation. That's my hope. We're going to get real uncomfortable tonight. So the topic for tonight is hood politics. You can slice it up however you want. Define it objectively, subjectively. You do the math. But let me start off with my opening question for my brothers. Is the hood a place we live or a place that lives inside of us? I'm gonna open up the floor. Let's start off with you, brother Ron. What you think? Is the hood somewhere we live or something that lives inside of us?
Wow, when you say that, you just start thinking. I mean, the answer to that is, I think on both accounts. Some we do live in the hood, and sometimes, but the hood, if you ever lived in the hood, it never leaves you. I mean, there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good about the hood. You know what I mean? As far as it gives you certain attitudes, certain ways that you carry yourself, certain ways of thinking, and I think those can be used as positive in positive ways. So. I would say that it lives, if you ever lived in the hood, I think it always lives inside of you, at least the good portions of
it. Okay. Brother Damo, you on board. What you think, baby? Do the hood live in us or is it somewhere we live? And you could talk right to it. I see where you at.
Honestly, I think it depends on how you put your mind towards the hood. I mean, like, there's people from the hood. I know a couple people from the hood that don't like living in the hood because that's not the life that they chose to live, or it's not the actions that they chose to do. Because in the hood, it's like you gotta be greasy, you gotta be rough. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look behind your shoulder every now and then, whether you respect it or not. So depending on how you set your mental in the hood is how you live about it.
Okay, I respect that. Brother Harv, it's on you. Is the hood somewhere we live, or is it something that lives inside of us?
For me, it's both. You know, it's a place where you live, but I know for me, I'm gonna go past the survival skill. I'm gonna go to the living skill. The living skill. You know, I mean, for me, living in the hood allowed me to get to where I am today. You know what I'm saying? It creates that hunger and also creates that vision. I know for me, it allows me to see something from down the way before it even get to me. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I mean, man, that's where I learned to fight mentally, where I learned to fight physically, where I learned to fight spiritually and emotionally. So yeah, it's where I lived, but it's in me.
Okay, I respect that, Brother Harv. And last but certainly never least, City.
Yes. How do I feel? I feel actually it's true. Yeah, you can be from the hood, and the hood could be in you. You can leave the hood, and the hood can still be in you. You could be in the hood, and the hood can't, and it's not in you. It's more of a. I think it's more of a mindset, really. You know what I mean? Like you take it with you. You can take it with you, and you don't even have to take it. Like you know what I mean? Like Donald says, people in the hood who really don't know anything about the hood. They just live it. You know what I mean? Like just there. See it. So that's how I look at it.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
Brother Larry, if I you know,
Please.
I think you just gotta always look at it like the hood is not all bad, it's not all good. It is what it is. And so when you say the hood, you know, there's some positive aspects of it, like, you know, and because I think about, you know, when you have a hood mentality on certain things, there's nothing that's impossible. Nothing seems impossible. You know, you just get out there and do it. Whatever comes your way, you get out there and do it to the best of your ability. You know, like if you walk in the hood and you see somebody, no matter what they're doing, you're like, yo, he doing what he got to do. That's it. So you take that same mindset with you into anything that you're doing in life. You know, you say that same mindset of no matter what comes at me, you know, I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to conquer this thing. You know, you can focus on the negative aspects of people, you know, getting over, being grimy, doing different things. If you want to look at that, but you know, I tend to think that there's a lot. Anybody who lived in the hood and managed to do something great in their life, however you define that, I think that hood mentality, as far as being willing to step out there, being willing to go out there and fight for whatever it is that you want to achieve. I think those are things that you learned in the hood, and it stayed with you and became a part of who you are, and, you know, defines who you are in many ways.
I'm gonna say that I agree. My take on this, I agree with all of you. I was born and raised in what is called the hood. I believe that there's a such thing as just embracing and taking on the skills that fit into your realm, your space, you know, whether it be survival, whether it be family. We learn a lot of different things. Like you said, Brother Ron, we take a lot of different positive attributes from living in what is called the hood. But you used the key word, and that key word was define. So let me present this question. What's the definition of the hood? How will we even define what the hood is? Because we could have called this neighborhood politics, but we removed neighbor from it because in the eyes of the world, what we live in is not necessarily considered a neighborhood. It's called either the projects or the hood, which, to your point, Brother Ron, that negative connotation that's attached to the area in which our people overpopulate dominate. So we do take a lot of good things from it. But let me circle back to that question. How would you define the hood? What does that definition look like for us? City, I'll let you answer first.
Hold on, I'm gonna let Damo. Damo got his hand.
Damo got his hand. Damo, I saw
Crazy
you pump. I saw you fist pumping.
I was gonna ask that. Yo, I was gonna ask that. What is the hood? Because people that live in the trailer, they starve and struggle like we do. Like the black community, we struggle and starve, but there's people that live in the trailer that in their eyes, that's the hood to them. There's people that live in the suburbs. That's like, I feel like I live at the bottom. Like I'm in the projects. Like I gotta, like we beef in the and we live across the street down the block with each other. So what is the hood specifically? That was my only thing. Go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Yo, City, before you say anything, something just came to me, and I just want to throw this out there to you guys. I'm looking at Damo wearing a hoodie, right? And something just hit me, like it just sparked, and I'm thinking like, okay, so if the hood is bad, right? When it's cold, when it's raining, when it's snowing, the first thing you reach for is a coat with a hood on it. It's a hoodie. Yeah. They call it a hoodie. It's a sweatshirt with a hood on it, which is used as a covering to protect you. Yet the hood is perpetuated as a place where it's the bottom, like Brother Damo said, it's the least. I'll just leave you with, we'll circle back, but it's so funny how God always lets you know that the first will be last and the last gonna be first. So Brother Damo, hold that thought about being at the bottom. We're gonna get back to that. City, get into it, City.
The hood, what is the hood to me? The hood is a mindset. It's having nothing and trying to make something. That's what the basic of what I call the hood. But the hood does have a negative connotation on it because we embrace a lot of the negativity. We more embrace the negative and try and make the negative look as a positive. This is my idea, my thoughts on it. Because like I said, it's a mindset. It's like everybody was saying, the hood mindset is just, yo, I don't have anything and I'm gonna make something out of nothing. That's just, if you take that mindset and go, you're gonna do something. You know?
Brother Harv.
With that idea.
What you think? What's your idea of it? Definition of the hood?
Bro, it is a mindset. You know, I can only give from my perspective. Even though I lived in the hood, my mom's made sure that even though I lived in the hood, made sure that we didn't have the mentality of the hood. Because even though we were in the hood, it was for me, ultimately, the definition. I know we talked about the definition, so we're going to talk about the definition. So for me, the hood is like you said, it's your covering. But for me, the hood was, again, a place I learned to survive. I learned to fight, and I that's the first thing I think of, fighting, because I had to fight with the homies in the hood. I had to fight with the ladies in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I had to fight with my pops in the hood. I had to fight with my moms in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, really, because it's like I had to fight with myself in the hood. You know, because the hood was the place where I defined who I was. So on that, I can go deep, but I'm not. I'm gonna leave it right there for right now. But the hood was the place where I defined who I was. So I'm gonna leave it right there.
Can we define hoods with like generations? Because I know everybody on the panel is from different breeds, if not similar or close by. So the way that Brother Harv might look at the hood might not be the way I look at the hood, or Brother Ron, or Brother Larry. So I'm looking at it like, because the first thought is survive. That's the first thought. When we first step off the stoop, we gotta survive. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be the kid that go to your school that you and him not feeling each other, or the neighbor that live next door, or the girl trying to holler at that, you know what I'm saying? You gotta survive some way, somehow. So it's like, is it generations? Because this generation now, their hood mentality, their hood definition is not the same as mine's, and I'm not too far from them. Like Brother Harv or Brother Ron, y'all generation of the hood done skip mines. Like we seen y'all from the hood, but we didn't respect what y'all was doing. We tried to change the game, and then so I'm just saying, it's generations of the hood, or it's just like hood in one aspect.
I would say the hood just in general, because we're fully aware of the difference in generations. But just from your standpoint, not even in comparison to anyone else's, but just your definition of what it represents to you. How would you define it, just from your era?
Me personally, I define it as surviving, showing your toughness, your weakness, making a dollar, making sense. Um, we like the elders. They think we beef for nothing, or we out here we stealing, we stabbing, we robbing for no reason. Every reason has a reason. So it's like we try to survive. We try to stay. We trying to live. Like we were supposed to be dead at 18. I know y'all heard this before. You're supposed to make it to 21, 25. Y'all better thank God y'all made it 25. 18 was the greatest thing y'all could do. So we still we understand the history that was there before us, but we trying to rewrite it because it's not the same eyesight. We want money. We want money. We want a name. We want fame. We want to survive. Y'all just wanted to stay out the way. Get y'all dollars, women, and just stay out the way. We can't do that now.
Respect. Brother Ron, last but certainly not least.
I'm sitting here thinking about it, and the hood is like bigger than we can define. The reason I say that, it depends on who's talking. If we talking amongst ourselves and we talking about the hood, and if we live in the hood, let's say in the projects or whatever you want to call that hood, the trailer park, we may be talking about getting out of it. We're talking about some of the things that we don't like that's associated with the place that we live that we're talking about, and we're calling it the hood because we're all there. So we got a love for it, but we're trying to get out of it. We're trying to make better for our children or for ourselves. Flip it. You at work, or you somewhere else, or you happen to have moved out of that hood, and somebody else is talking about your hood, your neighborhood. You totally get on the protective side. You get you start protecting your hood. You start to being defensive about it because you don't want nobody else to talk about your place that raised you, that made you the person that you became, that taught you how to fight, that taught you how to work, that gave you a lot of positive things. So it's like when you talk about the hood, that's what I said. It really depends, because if you think about it, Harv, you don't live in the hood now, right? So if somebody was talking about the hood that Harv grew up in, Harv is going to be like, no, stop it. You don't know what you're talking about. And a lot of good people live there, and they said something negative. Oh, did you see that? That's what they're doing in the hood. They're robbing, they're stealing, they're doing this. And you will become very defensive, ready to throw blows, because I think about that. So it's like, it really depends on the audience, who's saying it. Are they coming from a place of understanding, of a place of love, and they're there? Or are they on the outside looking in and being critical of people that we love? Because we say, the reason that brother thinks that way, the reason that brother or that sister does what he or she does is because of different things that you don't know anything about, so don't speak on it. So when you say the hood, man, I was just sitting there thinking, we would go off for days, because if somebody called in here and disrespected the place that you call home, that you call the hood, and they never lived in the hood, you'd be ready to, have some words with them.
Okay. All right. So now that we got that out the way, let's get uncomfortable. So now we're gonna put ourselves in, 2 minutes, keep our answers as brief as we can. But I'm gonna touch some things that I know gonna raise some eyebrows. Snitching, something we all can address, something we all can talk about. Is it a cancer code? A code that's a cancer for our people, no matter where we are, whether it's the hood, the suburbs, on the left corner or the right corner. Is it helpful or detrimental? That's one. And then I got one more that I want to touch. Prison glorification over college graduation. So I'll start. I'm gonna open it up with snitching. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes on what my thought is. I believe that it is not only something that is ingrained in us, it's ingrained in us, it's taught to us. It's taught to us from a young child where to not tattletale. And I think that from youth, as we're raised, it's not redefined in every stage of our life as to what the purpose of not telling is. And I think we get to a place where we're older, and depending on our experiences and the company that we keep and the relationships that we build, we find ourselves loyal to a fault, to where the code, from what many would label it as, is a detriment to us. Because I know for me, if you take the life of one of mine, no matter who you are, I don't care how tough I am, what man I am, me going to jail to seek vengeance on you not going to bring the person I lost back. But I sure enough want you to go to jail. I sure enough want you to pay for the crime of taking mine. That's just me. I'm gonna open up the floor. Brother Harv, I'm gonna let you take a stab at this one first.
Man, I'm gonna say it this way. That whole idea of snitches getting stitches, that to me is nonsense. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you were man enough to do the crime, or woman enough to do the crime, fess up to it, man up to it. Why should somebody else take the time that you're supposed to get? Yo, here's the other thing about that. If you were a destructive person and you did something and you don't want nobody to tell on you, what's stopping you from doing something else? So now you got a person who didn't tell, who took your responsibility. Their highness get locked up, and then you still being destructive. So now you get locked up, and now both of y'all sitting in the place because snitches get stitches. I'm not with it. I'm not with it.
Okay.
And here's another thing, and I'm gonna leave this alone after this. Here's another thing about that. Without accountability, there's no correction. Without accountability, there's no correction. If there's no correction, then there's no success. So when we do this thing and there's no accountability, then what we're doing is perpetuating the lack of success and accountability in our hoods. So if we want to improve the hood, then somebody's got to be responsible. And on that, I yield.
City, talk to me.
All right, I'm a piggyback off of that. I do the non-snitching rule. I never could understand that. Maybe just how I was raised. Like just like Harv said, my pops always said, if you're gonna do something, fess up to it. So I don't agree with the snitching, especially if you know somebody else. Like I come from a family of brothers too. At that, so if I'm sitting there and just say I'm blaming it on my little brother get in trouble for something I did. Yeah, he may get in trouble for it, but he's gonna come see me. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna, yo, you got me in trouble. You need to go tell mommy this is you, not me. I'm in the house for 3 months now. Whatever. But and that type of atmosphere is how I was raised. So it's like if I'm doing something wrong, and anybody that knows me, if I'm doing something wrong or did something, I did it. I'm sorry. How can we work towards this? How can we build to fix this? I'm always about mending stuff because if I don't know how somebody can take stuff. That's just, you know what I mean? So, and I don't want somebody getting in trouble for something I did. As a man, that means, because everything I do, I did. You know what I mean? I can't sit just being a man. I can't say, oh, I was bamboozled to do that. Oh, he tricked me to do that. No, I did it. I understood what was the outcome. I understood the good and the bad out of every situation. At least when I'm going to any situation, that's how I look at it. So if I do something messed up and it's something I'm quick. Yo, that was me. I take that one. You know what I mean? So I don't agree with the snitching rule. Like, Because the snitching rule does nothing but just hinders us more, because we're walking around with, not meaning like that, but we're walking around with nothing but killers. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can do nothing, walking on eggshells. You can't say something, oh, this person doing this, but you don't say nothing because he's going to kill you. Nobody going to say nothing. You're going to get killed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because people are so scared nowadays. And I'm not saying this, if you're in a lifestyle, and that's another thing too, if you're in a certain lifestyle, understand, I'm not a gangster. I tell people, no, I'm not a gangster, none of that. Like, I don't want to be a gangster. I don't want to be a thug. No, I'm just a normal dude to know how to handle myself. That's it. Something comes to me, I can deal with it. Any way you want to deal with it, I know how to deal with it on any level. But because I'm from the project, you know? But I don't agree with the non-snitching, the stitches get stitches rule. That's something I don't agree with.
Talk to me.
You know, it's funny. I would say, yeah, I think that snitching is wrong, you know? And I'm a lawyer, you know, I don't know if I said that earlier, but and then somebody would say, wow, he would say that as a lawyer? Yeah, I would say that. And here's why. Because, and I think Harv is probably thinking, Brother Harv is maybe, he's smiling, but the reason I say that is because I don't consider snitching on certain things. I don't consider that snitching. Here's snitching to me. If you and I are engaged in criminal activity, we decide to go out and do some breaking and enterings. We go out to do some robberies or whatever, and you get caught and I don't. And then you go to the police and say, yo, Brother Ron was with me. To me, that's snitching. That's a problem because we were both engaged in the same activity. We should have some type of loyalty. We should have some honor amongst us as men when if I'm supposed to have your back and you're supposed to have mine, if the police happen to catch one of us, then that should just be where it ends. On the flip side of that, we're in the neighborhood, we're in the hood, and something happens to somebody's child or to somebody's mother, somebody snatches her purse, somebody, you know, does something, injures a child, and the police come asking questions. That's not snitching. If you say, look, that dude over there snagged Miss Johnson's purse, he did it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't consider that snitching. I consider that being a responsible person. I consider that being a decent person, because if that was your mother, if that was your child, you would want somebody to assist. So to me, that's not snitching. I know some people say, nah, you need to mind your business. No, that time is over because there's too many people getting injured, and it's time that we all be held accountable for what we do. So if you're bold enough to go out there and do that to somebody, and if somebody reports you and tells on you, that's what it is. But on the flip, if we out there doing the dirt together, we need to have honor amongst ourselves as men and basically just hold the line, which is, I don't have anything to say, get my lawyer, he'll talk to you.
Hey, Brother Ron, I appreciate that. I know we're getting to Damo, but I appreciate what you're saying. See, now we get into the community and the difference in community. Because, so say for example, somebody does something in the community. In the community, I think the community needs to handle that situation. You feel me? So for me, like, okay, if somebody robs your grandmother in the hood, it's just like, yo, that needs to be corrected in the hood. And the reason why that needs to be corrected in the hood is because if why should it take somebody outside to say that's wrong? You feel me? See, when we start allowing other people outside of the hood to make those corrections, what ends up happening is that we position ourselves to not self-govern, and other communities know how to self-govern. So, and I can get into that, but I'm going to leave it right there. See, there comes a point where we have to self-govern. And when we don't self-govern, we set ourselves up for outside entities to come in and manipulate and to control the narrative of our living. And on that, I yield.
Thank you, Brother Harv. Damo, take me home. What's good?
Right.
Talk
Got
to
you
me.
right now. All right, I was trying to break it down in four joints, but Brother Harv added a fifth one. All right, the first one, I believe it's parents' fault that we snitch. Because when somebody do something in the house, the first thing the parents be like, who did this? You better tell me. You better tell me. Oh, no? And we get an ass whoop. I pop on me for cursing or anything, but that's just what happens. Two, it's like, it's confusion. Because when you're in school and Johnny takes the pencil from Ashley's desk, and he asks you not to tell him because he don't want to get in trouble, now you're in a dilemma. You know what I'm saying? Your balance beam is off. Do I tell on Johnny and that's my friend and he get in trouble and then he don't be my friend no more? It's in kindergarten. Or do I just shut up and mind my business? And that's what you do. And then it comes with like, we handle it by ourselves. If somebody steals something from my family, hurt my kid, this and the third, before I let somebody else handle it, I'm gonna handle it myself. I'm not gonna snitch on nobody. I'm not gonna go to the cops and tell them, yo, fat boy from the north side of this and the third did this and the third, because I'm gonna handle it first. Like Brother Harv said, we gotta govern ourselves. So I'm gonna take care of it myself. Not saying we always gotta result in violence, but certain situations results in violence. So we gotta govern it ourselves. The fifth thing I'm saying is snitching is defined differently, because if you go to the cops and you describe the person, clothing, facial, hairstyle, and you describe the person to a T, you snitched. But if you dry snitch, like, I don't know, you some fat black guy with waves, you didn't snitch for real, but you snitched. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just threw it in the air and the cops caught it. That's what they did. They caught the long pass from the 30-yard, and that was it. You dry snitch. But so snitching is defined differently. If I could see this guy and I could point him out, the lineup, this and the third, you snitch. And I'm going to jail, so I can't handle it. Somebody else gonna handle it for me, because it's the hood rule, not the snitch. We don't involve ourselves with the cops because cops treat us wrong for years. So that's when we involve ourselves in the cops and telling them this and the third. We'll handle it ourselves. As the young generation, the elder generation, the next generation, or the past generation, we're going to handle it ourselves, because we're going to govern the projects, the hood, the suburbs, the hotel, the shelter. We're going to do that shit. We're going to do it ourselves, because we don't report to the cops because of the way we was raised, because of the pictures we seen, the videos, the movies. It's just things like that. So it's a whole different aspect in snitching, depending on how you define it, depending on how you look at it, depending on what you consider a snitch. I might be wrong for this, but certain situations calls for you to tell. I don't want to see none of my family members dead and nothing like that. If I can handle it myself, then I'm gonna have to go to the authorities.
Dama, I don't want to cut you short. Let me I just want to get to that next subtopic. And I just want to close this off with a yes or no. Is it safe to say that the idea of snitching is defined by circumstance and situation? I just need a yes or no. City.
Yeah, I would agree. The circumstances, yeah, I would.
Brother Ron.
Yes.
Brother Harv.
Yes.
Damo.
Yes.
Okay. I like that. I'm sure that got some eyebrows raised. Somebody got some hair standing up on their back. Okay, so now in this last short bit of time, I want to say we got about 10 minutes. I want to touch this. I want to hit it and quit it, but I want y'all to go hard. This last one, prison glorification over college graduation. I'm going to set this one off. I'm going to go with everything we see on television, everything that's perpetuated in the media, everything that we see that's going around. We know some people. We throw a whole barbecue, a whole block party when the dude come home. It don't matter if he was up for 6 years or for 6 days. He get a party. He get we round him up and we celebrate. The dude come home from college and the only one that knows his family. But yeah, he lived in the hood his whole life and he know everybody. Let's speak to it. Why is it that, and I'm not speaking, not just the idea of educational, being educated or going to college, the progression, the positive progression to establish yourself in society as a human being, respectfully trying to set a foundation for your family, for your culture? Why is it that prison is glorified and college graduation isn't? This one, Damo, I'm gonna let you start this one off. I can't hear you, Damo.
I think college is glorified, but not to the same aspect as somebody coming home from doing, like you said, a week, 6 years, 12 years, 24 years. It's like the missing of somebody, like somebody that went to jail for doing something they didn't do. That's a celebration. Somebody went to jail for something they did do. The missing, like it's just the family, the friends missing them. It's what glorifies it, not the crime, not the time. It's just the missing of the person that's glorified. The cookout, the party, the bottles, whatever else is going on. Now, somebody that's in college, we expect for you to do that. We want you to open the doors and the eyes that people in the projects, in the hood, and the lower levels can do stuff with their life besides go to jail. So we look for people that's in college to do that for us, because everybody look for us to go to jail. So when you go to college, I know I got an opportunity to do something else besides go to jail and be on the corner. So I think that's the glorification of it, because we've been missing the person for years, months, days, and that's just how it go.
Okay. City, talk to me, bro.
All right. After that. Nah, gotta calm down, Dan. No, I'm totally against it. I know it sounds hurtful and all this, but if you did the crime, you know what you did. Like, you did it. I want you to come back. I'll be happy when you come back and all this, but I don't believe in glorifying it. Like, I'm not trying to get too personal, but I had a situation with my older brother. He'd been a while. He'd been gone for like ever. You know what I mean? Like, when he comes back, it's not let's go. No, it's like, yo, bro, what are you going to do now? Like, how are you not going back? Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are the more the conversations we have with him. Like, it's like, nah, all right, you've been there. How many times? When are you not going to go back? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we know you, like, it's not trying to get, but we say it like this, like, my older brother, if I'm seeing he's going to go down a certain path, like, not even a certain path, but if I don't agree with what he does, like even the slightest bit, he's my older brother. I'm just like, all right, bro, cool. You know what I mean? But if he knows if he needs help going down that hard path, that path of, yo, I got to put this down. I need help. Like he hit me with like, yo, bro, I need you to help me out. I need to get out of this. I need to move. I need something. I need to change this. I need to change my pattern of my life so far. He know I would do anything for him. You could move into my house. Don't worry. Just let's work on getting resumes. Let's work on getting applications out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I will go above and beyond, because it's like, all right, you're trying to change your life. You're not trying to go back. So I will help you. I'm going to do whatever possibly I can to help you from not going back. But if you continue to, it's like, all right, I'll holler at you when you get back, when you get out. Like, it's just how I look at it. Like for me, I'm more of a, when people do big things, I rather, and everybody that knows me, I pump them up to the sky. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're doing something big, something positive or something like that, I'm going to bump you. Any way I can help, I'm going to help. Any way I'm going to move, I'm going to help the machine move regardless. But if you're doing something negative and I'm not going to help you. And you could be like, you're my older brother. I love him to death. He know I love him to death, but I'm not going to do certain things with him because the type of life he lives. So with that.
Okay. Brother Ron, talk to me, man. What are we talking about?
All right. You know, the thing about it to me, I agree. I'm glad Brother Damo said what he said, because I do appreciate and respect the missing aspect. If that's what we're celebrating that this person is coming home, and then maybe they can springboard into what Off City was saying, which is, okay, now what are you going to do? But unfortunately, I believe that sometimes that's not what we're celebrating. We're celebrating something else, and that creates, to me, you're giving somebody props for just having gone and handled that. And that goes to the last question. When we talked about snitching and we talked about handling it ourselves. So that is the consequence of handling it yourself. Oftentimes, because we live in a society, that society is not going to allow us to handle it ourselves, and then there be no accountability because there is someone that requires our presence and will require that we answer if we take actions and handling it ourselves that are not in alignment with what the statutes and what the laws say is acceptable. So basically, somebody does something to somebody's mother, we handle it ourselves, as it's been mentioned in the hood. We, maybe it leads to violence because oftentimes that's how we handle things. We may go to talk about it to try to correct it, but oftentimes that may not work. And then there's something violent that happens. And then we've handled it ourselves, but then we become a statistic because the greater society will handle us and hold us accountable. Now, when that person goes away, this is my point, when that person goes away and comes back, then they're martyred, to the cause. It's like, he handled it. He went out like a champ. Or the person who wasn't snitching, they fought him in. He handled it like a champ. He kept his mouth closed, and we glorify that. And, I'm not going to say that's wrong or right. But what I do say is wrong is when from that same community, this kid who went off to college didn't have the money to go, but he washed dishes or she washed dishes, worked a part-time job to pay her tuition. It didn't take her 4 because she still had to work a job. So it took her 6.5 years. But we don't celebrate that. We don't celebrate that. There's no party. There's no cookout. There's no, wow, what a great job. Is somebody somebody's more often to say, well, damn, it took her long enough. She's been in school for 7 years, opposed to celebrating accomplishment. Doesn't always happen that way, but it should never happen at all. We should always celebrate when somebody's trying to do something. I don't care if they went to a 4-year university, to a community college, or just took some classes online to get some type of certification. We should always applaud and recognize the efforts that somebody is trying to do something to better themselves. That's all I have.
Brother Harv, take us home. We got 4 strong minutes. Take us home before we open up the lines.
4 words: propaganda, manipulation, degradation, plan. Again, those 4 words: propaganda, manipulation, degradation, and plan. This programming that we have engaged in was not of our own. We've adopted it. And so therefore, it's almost like somebody wearing nice clothes. We lift people up that wear nice clothes because in our mind, they have something. Now, interestingly enough, just because a person wears nice clothes don't mean that they're doesn't mean that they're on point. Now, why am I saying that? I'm saying that to say this. We lift people up, but some of us lift people up who get incarcerated or whatsoever because that's the programming. That's what we've been taught. We've been taught that it's cool to be disrespectful and dishonorable. Think about some of our kids in school. The kids that are smart, they're called nerds. The kids that are smart get beat up in school. Why? Because it's supposedly the cool kids who are disrespectful, who are the ones that are defining these things. Where are these kids getting this information from? From the destructive practices and behaviors that have been inbred in them. Now, it's important that we know this. And for me, because if we're going to raise a nation, we need to understand the methodologies that are used to keep this conversation going. Now, what do I mean by that? And I'm going to leave it there real quick. This whole thing of this thing that we have going on is not ours. We can change it. We have to break it. We have to break it because our lives depend on it. Our young men, there are many brothers sitting in jail without a purpose, all because of pride and ego, all because somebody said it's cool to go to jail, all because somebody said it's cool for violence. It's not okay. It's not okay. And on that, I yield.
All right, all right. We are at the 7:45 mark. 15 minutes till we're done. We want to open up the floor, open up the calls, the messaging. If there's anyone that wants to ask a question, chime in. Danielle, I see you're on. If you're not comfortable speaking, you can shoot me a text. I can propose your question in to the fellas via the video so you'll be able to see it and hear it. We'll give a
Lonzo, you got
minute.
2 burgers too?
All right, so in the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna shoot my shot at this prison glorification over college graduation. Man, you guys hit hard, and Damo, you made this one a tough one. You made this one a tough one to follow up, let me tell you. Hey, yo, City, not for nothing, I'm trying to get like you with how I put these dudes in order to speak, because y'all done made it hard for me to even come up with somebody. Y'all done said a little bit of everything I was thinking. So I guess let me just go off the top real quick. Nah, not for nothing. Like I know both sides. I know a lot of guys who have been locked up for less. You know, we know those guys. You get locked up for a nickel bag. Before you had a lawyer, before there was somebody to get in the office and say that's not a crime that deserved 5 years. You know, and it might have just been wrong place, wrong time. And yet throw them a party. And I've been a part of that party, you know. I've also been at the graduation party for the dude who didn't didn't go to jail. And he got great grades, but he was bullied in school. Hell, I was the kid who was smart in school. I didn't get too much bullying, but I also was only, the hood was across the street. The school was the hood. So being smart, I didn't suffer too much of the ramifications that a normal nerd would suffer because I was guilty by affiliation, so to speak. So I was already, I knew those guys, but I witnessed the other side of it. And I've been a part of just about every hood party you could think of that happens in the park, the barbecues, and he just came home. And Brother Ron, to your point, you're right. Sometimes we are absolutely glorifying the crime. That's a fact. That's a fact. There's no denying that. It is not just not even and it's not just to be missing the person, because sometimes we don't even notice. You let enough time go by, you don't even notice they gone. You don't even notice. You know what I mean? And that's what time does. Time will have you forget because life is still happening. So you will lose sight of who's not there. And then you get wind of it just that fast. And it's like, oh, this is happening. So coming home. Oh, it's on. And then there's the other side to Damo's point. So the person who might have been a good person, might have been, on the right path and just got caught up. Now, what do I mean when I say caught up? Could be wrong time, wrong place. Could have been aware of what was going to take place. But in that instance, could have been trying to get out of it. Could have had second thoughts, but it was a day late, dollar short, and just couldn't get up out of it. And now you in it. Now you hear the bars closing behind you. So you wait for that person to come home. I know one narrative that even brought me to this particular topic of the prison glorification and the college graduation. One narrative was every time the news come on and one of our brothers is killed, we always see the family saying he was a good kid. He was a good person, a good father, a good brother. And yet, when you look at the way they killed, when you look at the area, when you start hearing all of this, the whole story come together, I think it's almost cliche to even feel the need to speak to whether or not they're good or bad, whether they're a good person or a bad person. It was a bad situation that we can speak to. We'll never know what actually led to the situation because it goes back to what you said, Brother Ron, the idea of snitching. If you live in that life, then you telling, you snitching, because you knew what was happening. This is what we do. You got caught, and now you want to. So then I'll leave it. I'll leave this question out there, just to circle back, and just give this 10 seconds to think about it, if you can. The idea of the hood, the idea of snitching, the idea of prison glorification versus college graduation. When you sum all of that up, is it really the hood life that we're actually maybe misinterpreting? Or is it two separate lives? Is there a street life and then a hood life? Because if the hood is where we live, and within the hood, there are those who have a street mentality. Is that maybe the difference, that intricate difference, that very distinct variation between the two, where being in the hood, you don't take on the characteristics of the hood. But if you have a street mentality, that separates you from being a hood person. I'll leave that to you guys. City, talk to me. Matter of fact, no, I don't want you, City. I don't want you. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, City. Don't say nothing. Brother Harv, talk to me. I'm gonna get my man Long Wind Harv out the way first. Come on, Harv, talk to me. Talk to me, Harv.
Yeah, I'm long-winded.
Long-winded Harv, talk to me.
All right, I'm gonna make this real quick.
You got 60 seconds. Holla at me. Come on.
All right. So when I'm thinking about this whole thing, man, it's not our programming, brother. It's our programming, but it's not our programming. I keep coming back to this. This is something that's been infiltrated in our communities for so many years and generations. And we can change it. I understand what's happening, but I also understand there's a solution. And so therefore, right now I'm focused on getting that solution, brother. We can change this. We can change it. And I'm just going to leave it right there. That's my 60 seconds.
Damo, talk to me.
I mean, honestly, I agree with you, brother Larry, because it's like everything is mental wise, and it's like you have to see it through the shoes that's walking the mile. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is like the hood mentality is mentality. It don't have to be what it is. It don't have to be what it's supposed to be. It depends on how you make it. You could be the brother that's walking to the store, minding your business all day, every day. Just be the brother walking to the store, and they'll know you as the brother walking to the store, minding his business. Or you could be the brother that's rowdy, out there doing the dirt, the crime, the thing that's getting your name known negatively. You know? So my whole thing with it is like brother Ron said before, it depends on how you look at it, how you take it in. Okay. The hood gonna be the hood regardless. Are you gonna be the same person from the hood as you was 5 years ago, or you gonna be a different person?
Right.
3 years in.
Okay. Brother Ron.
And Brother Lab, before Brother Ron goes, I just want to say this. The difference between the hood and the housing complex is the mentality of the people. And I'm going to leave it right there.
I can dig that. Brother Ron, talk to me. 2 minutes, talk to me.
All right, I'm going to give you real quick. I like what Brother Harv said earlier about changing. But in order to change, one must first have a desire to change. And so I hope that when we talk about these things, it at least sparks a conversation, a thought, as far as maybe to look at something a little different. And I think that's the goal of this podcast, is just to get a conversation started and hopefully get people thinking about something a little differently. And, you know, me personally, I look at, you know, I thank Brother Damo for what he said about the welcoming home of a brother or a sister from prison, because I'll be honest with you, I never even thought about it in that aspect. So that's something for me to be mindful of, opposed to just saying we're glorifying the wrong thing. But maybe there are times where we're just welcoming in that person home and just saying, hopefully this time they'll do things a little differently. And we're trying to give them a positive start. So what I just say is, for everything that we've talked about this evening, hopefully we spark something that maybe will allow each and every one of us and anyone who happens to see this podcast just to have a desire to change. And then with that desire, then we can do it. That's all I have.
City, take me home, bro.
All right, I guess I got to take it home. Now, basically, like everybody's saying, I agree with all this. It's a mindset. We can change this. We can. It's we as a people have to start just just switch everything on its side. That's really what we gotta do, because we're glorifying all negative right now. That's all we glorify. Like, and I understand, because we come from nothing. So the little bit that we do have, we do try and put on this super high pedestal. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you know, he don't have nothing, but he's selling drugs. He's paying his mama rent. So you know what I mean? So we try and glorify it. But if we, all honesty, if we go back, we can't never go back, don't get twisted, but if you look back at the days when the Black Panthers run our communities, we didn't have so many issues. Like, yeah, we had problems, but you'll go to when we was, governing our own communities, like Harvey was saying, like back when you can tell we didn't have that many issues, and we didn't have the cutthroatness. That's what it is. We don't have the cutthroatness. Back in the days, we didn't have that cutthroatness like we have nowadays, because that cutthroatness that we have is making us not care about each other. You know what I mean? Like, and this is a dude that you could be playing basketball with, but the fact that he owes you money, and people in the projects know that he owes you something, he's looking at, oh, he playing you, son. You got to go handle that. You know what I mean? And it's the battery in the back is just because it's negative. Yo, son, you getting played. I don't know, like, but it's $3. It's $1. I gave him a soda. You know what I mean? And why am I gonna kill somebody I play basketball with over a soda? Because everybody in the projects, oh, they amping me up. Oh, he getting at you, son. He played you. Oh, you this, you that, you soft, da da da. But no, I gave him money. I gave him $1 because he was my friend and he was thirsty. He took my friendship.
Bring it home and for me, City.
Huh?
Said bring it home for me.
Bring up, but yeah, you know, like, it's like, okay, this is my friend. I gave $1 to get something to drink. It's not my fault that I looked at him as a friend and he looked at me as a mark. Okay, I gave him $1. That's all he gets then. My friendship to him was $1. Everything I could do for him or with him and help build us as a people, he just because $1, because he got over on me over $1. You know what I mean? Like, who really loses? That's because we live that cutthroat life, and that's just with that. That's why I'm gonna leave it.
my closing question, brothers, and we're gonna end it with a yay or nay. My closing question: can the hood mentality be changed? City.
Yes, I totally agree. It can be changed. It's a mindset. We just got to get out the mindset. So all I
Brother Ron.
Absolutely.
Brother Harv.
Yes.
Damo to Billy.
All the way agree.
And I agree as well. Yes, it can. With that, thank you, my brothers. Thank you, world, for letting me host my first show and lead it and take the lead in City. My man, I appreciate you. I'm gonna hand it back over to you to wrap us up, man.
Yes. I gotta give my brother some props. He did his thing. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking with my brothers. You know, I hope y'all enjoyed watching. I hope I be educated and blah to you guys. I hope everybody just take a different idea, a different mindset.
City, hit him with the next show.
The next show is on April 3rd. And it's do men have a disadvantage in the justice courts? Right? So prepare, look out for that. Like I said, I hope everybody had a good time. We're gonna leave on this one. Y'all know what I say. Walk in love and live in your blessings. So with that being said, we out of here. See y'all later. My goal is still to see the world while you soaring.
Rise up, what you gonna do about it? Get your mind up. How you gonna move about it? Get your shoulders right. And you get right to it, and we unite.